Why the fastest gun doesn't always win. The philosophy of the draw. The gap between life and death. In Western movies, the fastest gun doesn't win because he moves first. He wins because the other man hesitates long enough for doubt to take over. And once doubt appears, the outcome is already shifting. Today, we aren't just looking at the clock. We're looking at the psychology of the draw. The moment where Hollywood myth meets the cold reality of the frontier. The Expectation. George Temple and the Fastest Gun Alive. In The Fastest Gun Alive, George Temple isn't feared because of what he does. He's feared because of what people believe he will do. That belief spreads before he even arrives in town. Historical context. This is the Wyatt Earp effect. Earp famously said that fast is fine, but accuracy is everything. In this film, Glenn Ford, who was legitimately one of Hollywood's fastest draws at 0.33 seconds, embodies this. He enters the street, not as a man, but as an expectation. The town has already decided the ending. Every step forward is heavier in meaning, because everyone is waiting for a moment that feels inevitable.
Del, will you flip one?
There isn't a man alive who can shoot $2 silver while they're still in the air.
I've got one more here. Who's gonna throw it? Who's gonna toss this one?
I'll flip the other one.
Start counting.
All right, George.
3!
Here's one, he hit it.
Another one. He hit it plumb in the middle. Plumb in the middle.
Harvey. Right out here, Harvey. Right, you hold that beer mug out in front of you, Harvey. That's fine. All right, you drop it anytime you like.
On the house.
The Silence. Shane and the Weight of Violence. In Shane, violence does not arrive as a sudden event. It arrives through changes in behavior. When Shane enters, conversation changes immediately, not because anyone commands silence, but because speech begins to feel unnecessary. The actor's craft. Alan Ladd was a natural gunslinger, but he understood the presence of one. Groups separate without deciding to. Distance becomes more deliberate. Shane moves through a place that is already reacting to him. This tension is held in place until it eventually breaks.
A fight ain't with you.
It ain't with me, Wilson.
No, it ain't, Shane.
I wouldn't pull on Wilson, Shane. So you're Jack Wilson.
What's that mean to you, Shane? What have you heard, Shane?
I've heard that you're a low-down Yankee liar.
Prove it.
The Distance, Ride Lonesome, and the Chess Match. In Ride Lonesome, Ben Brigade is not moving through chaos. He is controlling distance. Every rider around him is positioned like part of a plan that is already in motion. Historic context. This reflects the reality of the trail. The draw wasn't always a face-off in the street. It was about positioning. As the distance closes, the confrontation stops feeling like something that might happen and starts feeling like something that has already been arranged.
But it ain't enough. Not near enough.
Let's go.
guess that kind of makes me a liar, don't it? No way for you to get out of here. Look, Brigade. Look, what's one more bounty to a man like you? You're bluffing.
Am I? Call him off, Billy. In the back.
Hey, Charlie! Charlie! You'll find my brother Frank!
What quarrel did you have with her?
That was a long time ago. I most forgot.
A man can do that.
Don't let him do it, Frank!
I done you enough, Brigade. Don't make me kill you.
Stop me.
Any shooting that horse will go right out from under Billy.
Neck don't snap. You can cut him down in time. That is, if you're alive.
Swing.
So did I.
Brigade? I don't suppose there's any way of getting Billy from you, aside from going over you.
Better get...
You mean I can have him?
Take him. I got no more use for him.
Well, you heard what he said. We'd got...
I hope so. Because you don't. I'll be the one comes looking to find you.
I'll remember that.
The Instinct, Winchester 73, and the Breaking Point. In Winchester 73, speed is not control. It is what happens when control breaks into action. The moment a man commits to drawing, everything becomes irreversible. James Stewart famously practiced with a Winchester and a Colt until his hands were raw and bleeding. He wanted the movement to be instinctual. The hand moves before the mind finishes deciding. From the outside, it looks like precision, but inside the moment, it is a collapse of possibility into a single violent outcome.
Henry Brown! Ready? Plum Center!
Whatever you say.
I've never seen the beat of this shooting.
Well, it's not Plum Center, but it is a good hit.
All right.
A miss. Looks like another miss.
I don't see any mark, except maybe the scratch on the inside rim.
That was my mistake. I shot through it.
To shoot a hole through this here postage stamp. Are you ready? Uh-huh. The winner! Fine shooting.
Thank you.
Now the book.
The conclusion. What the draw really is. The draw is not a physical movement. It is the moment hesitation ends. One man reaches that point first, not because he is faster, because he stops seeing another option. One man has already accepted the outcome. The other is still trying to avoid it. The gap decides everything before the hand ever moves. The channel for westerns and more. If you enjoyed this video, turn on notifications so you don't miss my next one. Check out my channel and Facebook page. The links are in the description below. If you got value from this, please comment, like, share and subscribe. It really helps. I appreciate it. I'm Wrangler. Bye for now. I'll see you again soon.